Hey guys, welcome back to the channel for We Talk Mental Health. My name is Karen, as always, and I'm coming at you fresh from an overnight shift in the ER, so bear with me, I'm a little tired. But today we're going to talk about some statistics associated with mental illness and why those statistics are important. People don't believe that mental illness is common, and that belief helps to feed into the stigma, and it's harmful for the overall idea that mental illness is really a thing. I just wanted to go over some facts today for adults and also for youth, and I wanted to talk about an idea that I had, which I hope that we can get lots of people behind so that we can start communicating more and start bridging the gap between the people who don't believe that mental illness is common and the people who actually battle it every day. So 1 in every 5 individuals in the United States, and it's more worldwide if you take that into consideration, but in the US, 1 in every 5 people has a mental illness. It works out to be about 44.7 million people, and that's a lot of people. It's a lot of people who internalize battles. It's a lot of people who are working really hard to maintain a baseline, and it's out of those people, about 60% don't ever get treatment. And for me, as a clinician, I strongly believe that huge gap and the amount of people who don't get treatment is why our suicide statistics are so high. 90% of the people who die by suicide every year in the United States have some sort of underlying mental illness. So whether it's schizophrenia, which approximately 1.1% of the population have, or depression, which 6.9%, 2.6% have a bipolar disorder, and approximately 18.1% of people have an anxiety disorder in adults. And we'll talk about, the statistics for youth in a second. But that's a lot of people, and that's a lot of people who are treated differently or believe that they will be treated differently if they come out and open up about what they're going through. So if there's anything that you take from this video today, I want it to be those numbers, because those numbers say that you're not alone and that there are other people out there who are going through similar battles than you, and it's okay to be going through them. So for youth, 20% of youth between the ages of 13 and 18 have a diagnosed mental illness, and about 50% of those kiddos get treatment. So there's still a really big gap. There's still a lot of kids out there who are really battling some pretty intense symptoms from mental illness and aren't getting treatment, and that's why it's the 3rd leading cause of death for individuals between the ages of 10 and 24 in the United States. Big part of that has to do with the fact that between the time of onset, which means that the time that the symptoms start showing up, and when a youth gets treatment, is about 10 years. And that can be contributing to financial barriers or lack of insurance. It can be contributing to the long wait lists that community mental health centers have, or it could be contributing to the fact that the parents might not completely understand what's going on with their kids, and they're just, putting it off to the fact that it's just a kid being a kid, when they're really, really struggling. And I'm going to do a video later on in a couple of weeks about the importance of understanding mental health in kids, so we'll talk about that a little bit more. But 11% of kids in the United States have some sort of mood disorder, and 10% of kids have a conduct disorder, while 8% are battling some sort of an anxiety disorder. So there's a lot of youth that are affected by mental illness as well, and if we start targeting those kiddos early and getting them treatment early, we can prevent long-term chronic illness when they get to be an adult, and they, adequately learn how to manage their symptoms and manage their illness. So the reason why I wanted to make this video today was because I had an idea, and I haven't really done a lot with it. If you follow We Talk Mental Health on Twitter, our pinned tweet is a picture of an individual holding up a sign that says, "I am 1 in 5." So I wanted to put a challenge out to all of you so that we can open up the communications even more that we're having about mental health and mental illness. If you're comfortable with doing so, you let people know that they're not alone. So I have this idea to start a movement, I guess you could call it, with the hashtag I am 1 in 5. And if you're willing, I want to challenge all of you who are going through those battles with mental illness and who might feel alone or don't feel alone and want to encourage other people who might be silently battling their mental illness to know that you're there and you are willing to put yourself out there, and it might encourage others to do the same. So, my idea is to use the hashtag I am 1 in 5 and write it on your hand, write it on a piece of paper, tag us in it on any of our social media platforms. Empower yourself and other people to be open about their battles and to be open about their mental illness so that we can start talking about how common it is, because once we start doing that, the less stigmatized it'll become, and it'll create so much more awareness within our society about mental health and mental illness in general. People will start paying more attention, and we can start educating more people, and we can also create a sense of support and community with each other so that we know that we're not alone. And that's really important when it comes to battling a mental illness. That sense of acceptance and that sense of community can really greatly impact somebody's battle and what they're going through, and it helps them overcome whatever hurdles that they're currently facing. So if you are following us, check out the pinned tweet. If you're not on Twitter, that's okay too. I'll post some stuff about it coming up once this video launches on Instagram and Facebook as well. I think that it'll be a really incredible thing to see if we can get some good movement behind this. I think that we'll start to see the conversation shifting, and I think that we'll start to see more and more people being open about what they're going through. It might be a little bit crazy. It's just an idea that I had, and it'd be really, really wonderful if you guys take that selfie, write it on a piece of paper, put it on your hand, do whatever you want, be as creative with it as you want. Shout it from the rooftops that you're not ashamed to be living with and managing a mental illness, because if we take that shame out of the stigma, then they've got nothing. Then society has nothing on us that would prevent us from getting treatment, from talking about what we're going through, from encouraging others to do the same. And we'll start seeing those barriers that are associated with the stigma break down. And I think it'll be really, really incredible. If you're willing to do it, I would really love it. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna put it out there. I've done it before. I really think that we could really make some incredible change with this idea, and I think it would be great if you would tag us and let me know, and I'll share it and we'll put it out there. I'm also going to be doing a couple of other things associated with this kind of idea. I put out on my Facebook, my personal Facebook, a couple months ago about wanting to do a photo series. So I'm going to tie this idea into taking some really cool photos of people who are willing to participate and really just getting the word out there, really putting more info out there, more education, more openness, less shame, more self-awareness and self-acceptance. I want this to be about taking your power back. I want this to be about telling everybody who's ever treated you differently because you battle a mental illness to basically go pound sand. Because it doesn't make you any less of a person. It doesn't make you any less capable of doing anything that you want to do with your life. And if you're accepting that it's part of you, then nobody can take any of those things away from you. And that is truly going to be, I think, a powerful shift in the barriers and the struggles that we face with stigma. If you stop letting people shame you into believing that it's wrong to be going through something, then they've got nothing. They've got nothing on us. So please check us out on Twitter and Instagram and Facebook. As always, the links will be in the description. I will put the information from NAMI in the description as well, where I found all the statistics. Make sure you subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. I love you all. You're all incredible. And I hope that you have an amazing week. And I will see you next time.